Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to TechGig webinar series, our endeavor to empower techies. We believe that sharing of knowledge is the key to enhance our skills and grow us as professionals. With this principle in mind, we have initiated a series of webinars conducted by industry experts to give you all a crisp insight of various domains. The topic of today's session is Mobile Payments Revolution. Our guest speaker today is Pragati Ogulrai, Chief Technology Evangelist, PayPal India Development Center. Pragati is the Chief Technology Evangelist for PayPal and the author of the book Android Application Security Essentials. She has more than 14 years of experience in technology domains like mobile operating systems, mobile security, payments, and commerce. From starting as a platform security engineer with Motorola to leading mobile developer relations in North America, she has extensive product and business development experience. Pragati has dual masters in computer science and has taught and trained computer science students at universities around the world. She is a recognized speaker at international technology events. So without further delay, I introduce you all to our guest speaker. Over to you, Pragati.
Thank you very much for a gracious introduction. Hello, everyone. Okay, there we go. Yeah. Hello, everyone. Thank you for sharing 1 hour of your life with me today, and I hope to make this 1 hour as productive and as informational as I can. If you have any questions, I encourage you to send it out, and we will take those questions towards the end of the session. A little bit about me. Garima has done a fantastic job, but here I am for all those who are looking on the screen. And I'm the author of the book Android Application Security Essentials, which published last month with Pact Publication. In my previous role, I used to head mobile developer relations for PayPal North America. And my focus all through my professional life has been how to bring people and technology together to achieve great things. And that's exactly what I do in my current role at PayPal, which is being the Chief Technology Evangelist. The agenda for our talk today is Mobile Payment Revolution, and I have centered this presentation around 5 key questions. Now, revolution is a pretty strong term. So what we are going to start off with is, why do I really think that mobile payments is creating a payment revolution today? What caused this revolution? What is the current state of the payment ecosystem? Any challenges that we are facing in the mass adoption of mobile payments, and any side effects, good or bad, of this mass adoption of mobile payments. And again, please do send me your questions, and we will take them towards the end of the session. So as I said, mobile payments, in my opinion, is a revolution in the making. It's a great step forward towards how we make transactions, and not just transactions, actually the entire commerce, how we visualize commerce. To begin, to get some context here, let's start off from the very beginning. So payments and commerce have been part of our civilizations since antiquity. We started off with the barter system, where we exchanged goods and services and livestock and fruits and vegetables for services and other things that we needed. We moved on to doing business using gold and silver coins. Then in the 1100s and the 1200s AD, a great visionary of our time, Kublai Khan, introduced paper money in China. And the whole reason behind it was really hard to carry, stacks of gold and silver coins or other precious metals for traders. So he introduced paper money, and that was a revolution in itself. Because what that did was, we placed our trust in a piece of paper backed by the government, which really in itself had no value as compared to gold and silver or other precious metals. Then we had the paper money going on for centuries, and then in 1950, we placed our trust in a piece of plastic. And that's when we introduced the credit cards. And the first credit card came out, which is the Diners Club, came out in the 1950s. Founded in 1998, PayPal created a revolution again, where we started off with mobile payments. Actually, I should rather go back and say where we started doing electronic payments and sending payments from one person to the other using internet. So that's a big leap. And today, we are all here talking about the mobile payment revolution. It's amazing because what we are talking about today is using this piece of device, this piece of embedded device to make our payments, to accept payments, and do all kinds of payment and commerce-related activities. And when I talk about mobile payments, I'm not just talking about, going to a website, browsing an item, liking it, and then making a payment. That's not what is mobile payments. That's not what is the entire territory of mobile payments. When I talk about mobile payments, I talk about how are we making this piece of device that we are walking today with, our tablets, our phones, our other embedded devices, as a point of sale solution in itself, as an enabler to mobile commerce. And I'm going to walk through different kinds of scenarios and different kinds of use cases that we see in mobile payments. Now, many of us, we set our ringtones. We set our favorite songs to play when we get a call from a special person. And how do we pay for them? We pay them through our carrier. And that's another form of mobile payments. We SMS money to pay for our telephone bills, to pay for our electricity bills. These are all use cases of mobile payments. And I know many of us among today go with the data and go with the numbers. So here are some numbers that we are seeing today at PayPal. And what we are seeing today is, if we compare 2011 and 2012, there was a 3 times increase in the mobile payment volume in just 1 year. And what happens in 2013 is right around the corner, and we'll see soon. And eBay, from a mobile commerce perspective, the overall increase from 2011 to 2012 was 120%. That's a big whooping number. And so in North America, the biggest shopping days, I dare say they are the biggest shopping days everywhere in the world, are the Black Friday and Cyber Monday. And we kind of use it as a benchmark to see activity on our sites and to gather numbers. And what we observed in 2012 was that the mobile commerce volume actually doubled from the last year. Now, when we talk about Black Friday and Cyber Mondays, I'm talking about stats from North America, but let me tell you here that it's not just in North America or the European nations that we are seeing this kind of activity. The stats that I shared with you are actually global, because more than half of PayPal's total revenue in 2012 is from outside of North America. And 60% of eBay's mobile purchases come out of the United States. So it's a global phenomenon. It's what we are talking about, and the stats that I'm sharing today with you are all global in nature. The second important question is, now that we have seen the numbers and we see what mobile payments are and what I'm talking about, the question is, why are we seeing this happen? Why aren't we happy with cash? Aren't we happy with our credit cards enough? It's convenient. We just swipe a credit card and we get our purchases, make a payment. Why are we actually thinking about mobile payments, and why is it catching up in huge numbers? Why are we seeing these numbers? So what we see is that in the last 5 years or 5 or 10 years, there are a number of technologies and a number of trends that have come out. Now, if you notice, and we all know this for sure, that more and more of our lives are digital these days. You know, our photographs, our likes, our dislikes, what I did yesterday, what restaurant I ate food in, what kind of food I like, what shops I shop at. All this information is digital. And going one step further, our medical records are digital. Our banking is digital. How many of you, log into your phone to check your account balances? All of that is all going digital. Our books are digital. The other big phenomena that we are seeing today is that we are forming huge social groups online. Facebook, Twitter, Google Hangouts. Those our groups there are way bigger than our social networking happening, live in person. They're much bigger. The third important trend that I see is this huge proliferation of mobile devices in different forms and shapes. Call it tablets, call it phones, your GPS, your other embedded devices, and now we're talking about wearable devices like Google Glasses and watches. So there's a huge proliferation of embedded connected devices that we call as mobile devices. And all three of them going digital, building up social communities, and the huge proliferation of mobile devices, it's a very powerful combination. And it is driving two important changes. We are going global to begin with, because we're not restricted to people in our locality when we go out and build these communities. And so it's bringing the world together. And at the same time, we are going local as well, because we want to find out what's happening in my community, in my let's say my colony, or actually in my apartment complex. That is why we have these websites called Common Floor and Apartment Adda and all these things. So we are going global, and at the same time we are also going local. And so these are some of the trends that are shaping consumer behavior. Now, these trends also affect commerce and also affect what consumers expect of a commerce experience. So when we talk about commerce today, it's not just going to a shop, liking an item, and then paying for it and walking out of the store. That's not what is commerce today. What we want today is that let's say our shopping list should be online, on our phone, in the cloud somewhere. My friends should actually be able to recommend the shop that they shopped at and really like the experience. And I should be able to find out the item that I like and I want, in the color I want, in the size I want, in the make and model I want, next door, in 5 kilometers. And when I'm close to the shop, because a particular item was in my shopping list, I should get probably a notification saying, hey, you're close to this shop, and go, and this particular item was in your shopping list, go get it. You're very close to that shop. And to make your, to kind of sweeten the deal, here's a 10% off coupon that you can use. This is all commerce. This is all mobile commerce. This is how we pay and we do commerce today. And to top it all off, when I am in a store and I like an item, I want to be able to actually log into my phone and find out what if there is an item which says the same item, less expensive, close by. Am I getting the best price out of it? And if I am, I should be able to buy the item right there in the aisle, and then I don't have to stand in long lines to pay and take the item. I should be able to check out the item in the aisle itself and just walk with it. To give you some examples, imagine a scenario, and we have actually launched it in North America. So at Home Depot, it's a big, huge warehouse for manufacturing goods and building material. So you really don't need your wallet to go and buy things there. You go, you walk into the store, you pick up whatever you like, you go to the self-checkout, select Pay with PayPal as a payment option, enter your PayPal ID and your password, or if you have a NFC-enabled phone, you can check out using that, and boom, you're done. You really don't need your wallet. Everything is online, everything is in the cloud. Let's take another example. And this is also, that is in reality, that is happening. Let's say you want to order your juice. You go to say, let's take example of Jamba Juice here. So you're really in a mood of a healthy smoothie, let's say, and you go and to the website, you order the smoothie with the wheatgrass and all kinds of a protein boost and all kinds of healthy things that you want, and then you check out. And when you arrive at Jamba Juice, your juice or your smoothie is waiting for you to pick up and enjoy. How easy, how convenient is that? And that is what is the new phase of commerce, that's the new phase of payments. And none of these experiences work in silos. All of them have to talk to each other to create that end-to-end experience, and that's what we call as connected commerce. Now that we have spoken about the mobile payments and the commerce, let's take a closer look at what the mobile payments ecosystem looks like, and who are the major players in play when we talk about mobile payments. So in the mobile payment ecosystem, there are three main artifacts, the way I see it. One is the client. Now, these are the initiators of a transaction, and it could be any device. It could be a phone, it could be your tablet, it could even be a passive device, say a credit card. Then there is the merchant. The merchant is somebody who is accepting payments or with whom you are dealing. And don't stick with just a traditional website. For example, let's say eBay or other websites where you want to buy an item. That's not entirely what we're talking about as merchants. It could be as innovative as a point-of-sale terminal. It could be your vending machine. It could be the parking meters that you pay using your phone. It could actually be your mobile phone that you turn into a point-of-sale device by plugging in an audio jack card reader. All of them are merchants. And the most interesting artifact of our mobile payment ecosystem is the infrastructure layer. This is the layer, this is the technology, a set of technologies that make communication between clients and merchants. It's an enabling technology. And it could be VAP, it could be CDMA, GSM, PayPal, or proximity technologies like Bluetooth and NFC and RFID, all of them. And then there are evolving standards and security that go through each of these artifacts. So then, going back to my previous slide, so then how will you define mobile payments? Is it that if I am making a transaction using my mobile phone, is that mobile payment? Like I go to www.ebay.com and I like an item, say shoes, and I go ahead and pay with my check out. Is that mobile payment? Or is it that my phone is a point of sale system and I have a card reader and I scan your credit card, and then I go ahead and pay with my check out? Is that mobile payment? Or is it that my phone is a point of sale system and I have a card reader and I scan your credit card, and then I go ahead and pay with my and accept payments, is that mobile payment? Or if I go with my friend outside to have a lunch and then, you know, let's say I forgot my wallet and my friend takes care of the bill, and right there I transfer the amount I owe to his PayPal or her PayPal account. Is that mobile payment? What is mobile payments? What are we talking about here? And the thing is, mobile payments is how you define it. It's way beyond the hype. It's what fits in your use case. Any of these is a very good example of mobile payments. To talk about some other examples, you know, we pay our bills actually using SMS. Right now, I can SMS any one of you who has, say, let's say a PayPal account. I can SMS you money right here while I'm here, sitting here. So we both are not in close proximity to each other, and this kind of mobile payments is called a remote mobile payment. Mobile banking, carrier billing, where you make a purchase and the amount gets debited from your phone bill. All of them where the client and the merchant are far away from each other are called remote mobile payments. On the other extreme end are the proximity mobile payments. Now, barcode scanning. You may say that barcode scanning, I'm not making a purchase here, but guess what? It is an enabler to make a mobile transaction or a payment transaction. Point of sale. Now, imagine a scenario. Let's talk about the cash on delivery. And let's talk about, and let's reterm it as payments on delivery. Now, a person comes in, brings a bunch of items to your home. You like the item, you're ready to make a purchase. You really don't need cash because, you know, the person who brought the item has a phone and a card reader that he puts on his phone and then swipes your credit card. Boom, mobile payments. Or better yet, you don't really need a card. I make a person-to-person payment from my phone to your phone. Proximity mobile payments. Now, at PayPal, we had a fun use case where we would bring two phones close together and, you know, bump them together, and then money would transfer from one phone to other. And we use the accelerometer in the phone to make this kind of transaction happen. So what's really happening is that we are using these proximity technologies that have been available for a long time in a very innovative use case. And so these are proximity mobile payments. Now, as developers, let's say a pizza shop, you know, around the block comes and tells you, you know, can you develop an app for me so people can order pizza ahead? Now, as a developer, you're caught between what the consumer wants, what kind of an experience you want to give to the consumer, and what kind of an experience you want to give to the merchant. So let's just walk through it or just contemplate on it for a little bit. Now, as a consumer, if I am trying to make a payment on the phone, what is it that I want? What are my key factors? I want it to be really fast. I want to be able to have, you know, options. I really don't want to stick with just Visa or MasterCard or PayPal. I want to have all the options so I can use what I really like. And I want it to be easy. And please do not prompt me to create another, you know, an account. These are some of the things that a consumer wants. And of course, they really, really want security because guess what? It's their money. On the other hand, what does a merchant want? Well, the first thing a merchant wants is, you know, security again, because it's the money they earn too. So they want to go with a provider which has, you know, which is security compliant, which has fraud prevention systems and behavioral algorithms running on the back end. They also want somebody that can scale as their business grows and can support it 24/7 when people call in. So as developers, if you're caught in a situation where you have to please both, this is like a cheat sheet of what you should be looking at or what you should be trying to cover. So what are some of the challenges that we face or we are facing currently in the adoption of mobile payments? And I'm sure each one of you have reasons or suggestions of what we can do better, and I urge you to please send in your questions or comments to me, and we can discuss about them. But right now, what I think are some of the challenges in the mass adoption of mobile payments. First is a diverse and evolving mobile ecosystem, and I cannot stress it less. Because guess what? Think of all the components that go within your mobile phone. You have your manufacturer, you have your operating system provider, you have your companies that provide services and infrastructure, the cloud-based services, the backup. Then you have your carriers coming in, and then the developers, and then the app stores, a whole lot of things. And not many of them, actually very, very few of them have experience in the payment space. So they're very good in what they do. OEMs are really good in manufacturing handsets, and operating system providers are very good in developing robust operating systems, but they're really new to the payment space. So one of the challenges that we see in the mass adoption of mobile payments is the diverse and evolving mobile ecosystem. And to top it all off, our payments ecosystem is not easy either. When we talk about payments, we have our gateways, we have point of sale systems, we have embedded systems, we have proprietary systems, we have gateways for processors. Now we're talking about wallets in the cloud, we're talking about credit cards, debit cards, banks, you name it. It's not an easy territory to navigate. And payments have always been complex. The third very important challenge is the security issue or security challenge. Because guess what? You cannot keep your phone locked away. What if your phone gets lost and you have all your credit card information or your debit card information in there? You don't want to lose it. And there's no way you can keep your phone locked all the time, like what we have here. And guess what? You cannot be talking in a vacuum. There are people around everywhere trying to snoop on what you're talking about and trying to get information. So security is a big challenge. When I joined PayPal, one of my seniors actually told me that you may actually get away with murder, but if you steal somebody's money, they're going to remember it for the rest of their life. So keep that in mind now that you're in a payment company. And I always remember that, because it's somebody's hard-earned money, and you just cannot compromise security in any way. So risks like, your related to device, like your phone getting lost. Somebody, when you're entering, let's say when you're entering your credit card information, somebody snooping over your shoulder and actually, scribbling down what credit card number and other financial details that you have entered and sending it to his or her friend in Russia, where they go ahead and make a transaction on your behalf, and suddenly tomorrow when you log into your account, you see you're short of a couple $1,000s. Fraud is another big thing, another big issue. And how do you make sure that when I log in to a website, that website is a genuine website and there is no man in the middle who is faking it? So how do you make the client and merchant authentication safe? And then there are no standards. Well, actually, there are standards. Let me just put it this way. The standards are evolving, but there's a lot more work that needs to be done, both on the mobile payment side and on the security side. Talking about the side effects, are there any side effects that I think are happening? And are they good side effects? Are they bad side effects? This is sometimes talk about those side effects. And one good side effect that I am seeing is that there is a way increased collaboration among different uh, artifacts or the different players in the mobile ecosystem. Now you can actually buy an LG TV in North America, and it comes automatically installed with or activated with PayPal. So you see an integration or collaboration between device manufacturers, the operating system manufacturers, the carriers, and payment providers. So there's a huge collaboration happening everywhere, which is a very good thing because there's everybody is here, everybody wins in this situation. This is one of my favorite slides in the presentation because it talks about something that's very near and dear to my heart. Now, a small country in Africa, Nigeria or Kenya, they don't have the infrastructure to build banks in remote villages. So they came up with an innovative idea of how we can send money to people in remote villages by SMSing them money. You know, I SMS to my family back in a remote village which doesn't really have the infrastructure or the resources to build a bank. And I just SMS them money, they go to the agent and they get their money. How cool is that? And it's coming from a country which is not a developed country. So basically what makes mobile payments so successful is the innovative use of these payments to solve our local problems. GM of PayPal India, Anupam always talks about this example. You know, in our country, let's talk about India. In our country, government subsidizes a lot of resources for farmers to help them. Now, by the time it reaches the farmers, how much money has been lost in the in transit? And what the poor farmer gets is very little of what was actually intended for him to receive. Imagine the use case where everything happens digitally, where I know that I had transferred, or a person in the government had transferred, say, 1 crore to this particular farmer, and so there's an origin, and then there is a destination where this farmer can actually see that, yes, this much money has been credited to my account. And then there's no middleman here. There's no corruption here. This is solving a local problem innovatively using the technology of mobile payments. And different countries have different kinds of payment systems. You know, M-Pesa is very popular in African countries. It's taking, even in UAE, and then also in India we see it somewhere sometimes. Geld card and Chipnik in Europe, and actually Canada actually started this really interesting contest where people had to submit ideas or applications around digital money, and they called it the Royal Canadian Mint. So it was an interesting competition that they launched, I think, last year. Yeah, late last year. You know, and mobile brings new use cases. Today we are seeing these use cases that we have here. We are talking about shopping lists, self-scanning and checkout, online commerce, in-store research, mobile wallet, loyalty cards. And these are some of the use cases that we are talking about today, but we really do not know what will happen in the next 2 years. What other kind of use cases, what other kind of technologies will come up, and how we use mobile payments in a more innovative way. So actually the space is open for us all to figure out how we can use it creatively. So one thing that every day I take an auto from my home to the office, and he takes 65 rupees to bring me from home to office, and almost every day I never have the 5 rupee change, and I end up giving him 70 rupees. It's not a big money, but imagine how convenient it would be for me if I could either swipe a credit card or I could actually transfer money from my account to his account. And I don't have to worry about getting these 5 rupees and 10 rupee changes because that's what I think about when I go to a shop, that I should collect these change. So new use cases are there, and it's up to us where we take mobile payments. A lot of improvement is also happening in the payment security field. There's a lot more awareness on the consumer side, and there are new authentication techniques, the biometric techniques, OpenID Connect, OAuth, all these techniques are coming up, algorithms are coming up, technologies are coming up that are good for a payment perspective as well. And then there are standards like PCI security standards, and for all the developers here, I urge you to be aware of this PCI Standards Council, because it's important for you to not fall into legal issues. Now, it's an independent organization, and it has developed a common set of payment standards. Now, if you are a developer and let's say you have an app that processes credit cards or processes payments or stores credit cards, then you need to be PCI DSS compliant. And the standard lists out, actually it has 6 tasks that everybody who processes payments has to take care of. And they're very simple, and they're like, you should have an InfoSec policy in place. All credit card transactions should be encrypted, and the likes. You should have a backup plan, and you know what? You would hope when you read it, you would hope that anybody who is processing my credit card actually does it, but not many who are doing it. So we have this now in place, and I urge you to take a look at it. A lot of innovation is happening in the hardware space too, because you cannot store your credit card information, your social security number, your sensitive information, your passwords in the device that we have today. You need to have some kind of a secure location that reboots or that zeroes out if your phone is hacked or some suspicious activity is detected. And one such initiative is that of Trust Zone, where you're using virtualization, your phone operating system is divided into 2 operating systems. One is secure and one is normal. Okay, and if you detect some kind of tampering with the device, the secure world actually devices or clears off. So nobody can actually steal your identity or steal your financial details from here. So such kind of initiatives are happening, and we are seeing a lot of innovation in the device space as well. For all of you who are Android developers, you would have known that we came out with a secure element in the phone, and the whole purpose was of that secure element was to enable payments and other sensitive use cases. Now this slide is something that we can debate both ways. So as we walk through the evolution of payments, we started off with a barter system, gold coins, paper money, and then credit cards, and today we are talking about mobile payments where everything is going to be digital. So what we are seeing is that we are going from a less cash society to a cashless society. And I leave it to you to think of it as a good side effect or a bad side effect, but this is what we are seeing here. It's interesting to know that some of the churches in Europe have actually put credit card swiping machines there because people are not carrying cash, and they're finding a way to not make donations. So the churches actually put some credit card swiping machines there. So of course, the payment modes are changing, and I anticipate this to continue. And what better way to end the presentation with some future predictions? What does the future hold for us? What are our friends at Gartner saying about mobile payments? And what they're saying is that they are hoping to have an average of 42% annual growth between 2011 and 2016. That's a big number. And they are hoping to see this 42% growth year after year after year. So that's a big prediction, and we are hoping to have the biggest usage of mobile payments in the developing countries and the most innovation happening in the developing countries. The power of mobile payments lies in using mobile payments innovatively to solve local problems. To summarize it all, mobile payments is a global phenomenon, and if you're a developer at one time, pretty soon you will be dealing with mobile payments, is what I think. What is important for us to realize that if everybody is talking about NFC, we really don't need to jump into NFC until and unless we have a valid use case. So think beyond the hype. Think what your use case is, how you want to solve your problem using mobile payments, and maybe mobile payments is not the answer for your use case. So it's for you to think what is best for you. And whenever you're integrating with mobile payments, be sure to employ all security mechanisms to research about your gateways or your payment processors, because trust, safety, and security is of paramount importance. With that, I thank you all for listening to me. For any questions, you can reach me at pragati.rai@paypal.com, or you can shoot me a tweet at pragatiover. This slide will be available on SlideShare for you to download, so I encourage you to go there and download the slide deck. And I hand it over to Garima for questions.
Pragati, the questions are there in your questions window. I've already assigned you a few questions.
Okay, let me just take our questions here. Let's see here. So the first question that I see is from Dave M. And what he's saying is there are lots of inquiries in mobile payment. What are the different job opportunities in PayPal? Okay, well, I'm very excited that you asked this question, because we're hiring a lot of people, and we really need good talent. So so you can check out all our job openings on our website at eBay and at PayPal. We are using the best technologies right now, just because payments and commerce is such an evolving space. So, please, I encourage you to go to our website, check out the job openings. You can actually reach out to me also in case you need further clarification. We have big data opportunities. We have, server-side technologies. We need a lot of people. So please, thank you for asking this, and I encourage you to send me the check out our website. The other question is, I want to sell domain and hosting products. If I use PayPal Payment Gateway, is there charge to receive payment? I want to sell a domain. Okay, yes. PayPal makes money based on, we take a cut from the transaction. It is, I have the PayPal North America numbers on top of my head, but I can send you the numbers for India. I know we take a 2.9% cut in North America. Please shoot me an email and I will be happy to share the rates in India with you. You can also check them on our website at www.paypal.com. Okay, what other questions are there? There are payment types which, okay, so there are payment types. So Mahesh here, hi Mahesh, your question is, there are the payment types which can be done with the help of banking apps. What they will be said actually. There are a lot of payment types. Of course, they come in the big umbrella of mobile payments. Whenever money is involved and you are using a device to access or make a payment or a transaction, or actually, you know, if let's say I go to ICICI on my phone and check my account balance or transfer funds around from one to the other, they, in my opinion, they are part of mobile payments. Okay, let's see here. Now, I have a question from Pankaj, who is saying, okay, we just took Pankaj's question. I want to sell domain and hosting products. Okay. The next is Pradeep. His question is, what are the pre-qualifications to learn this course? Well, as long as you are interested in the mobile and the payment space, that's pretty much what it takes. Yeah, that's all I can say here. You can, if you have questions for a particular domain in payments that you're interested in, do send me an email and I can help you figure out or help you with some courses or some pointers there. Then I have another question from Mithu. Mithu says, hi, the concept seems superb. However, educating people on how to use these features, functions, seem a big hurdle to the concept, as I have seen so many people here in India who don't even know how to SMS. So I am curious to know how you're gonna tackle that. Well, Mithun, that's a great observation that you have. And a part of a challenge that we face in mobile payments is helping people use our technology. And what I believe is that if we make our solutions very easy to use, and we solve their local problem, they'll be happy to try us out. But of course, you're right in pointing out that there's a lot of education that needs to be done, and that kind of rests on us, all of us as well, because we can be evangelists on promoting the school technology. Now let's scroll down. I have a question from Sri Raman, and he says, how does payments tie up differently when apps are in the cloud? Is it anything different? Is PayPal and TrustPay related? Okay, I think I mixed two questions here together. Okay, so Raman first asked me the question, how does payment tie up differently when apps are in the cloud? You know, you bring us to a very interesting topic of confluence of payments, mobile and cloud. This is how things are going today. Everything is going in the cloud, and it is no different because the whole purpose of the cloud is to make cloud invisible. That is really the purpose. Our apps could be in the cloud, our wallet could be in the cloud. What really matters is that when we need that information, it is handy. And in that respect, wallets in the cloud or payments in the cloud is no different from payments, let's say, on a server that I have. So thank you for bringing up that point. Another question is PayPal and TrustPay related? I don't think so. I'll look it up one more time, but I don't think they're related. PayPal is an eBay Inc. company and headquartered in San Jose. Yeah, so we are part of the big eBay Inc. family. Now we have another question from Gajula, and the question is, since in recent times Android mobiles are suffering security problems from hackers, how good do you think the mobile payment will be in the future? Well, your observation was right, and it's not just the Android phones, it's the iPhone or your BlackBerry or your, you know, all kinds of devices suffer from security issues. And that is what I actually raised in my presentation as well, that security is a big challenge for the mass adoption of mobile payments. And I've seen a lot of efforts being taken in the device phase, in the way we develop apps, and in the way we store our sensitive information, not on the phone, but trying to put it on the cloud securely, or figuring out other kind of authentication methods. So yes, that's a big challenge. We haven't solved it yet. There are lots of initiatives going on. And as developers and as people who are aware of the situation, it is our responsibility, you know, on a philosophical note, it's our responsibility also to help people help people use their devices, especially in the payments use cases, securely and make them aware. So PCI DSS is one such standard that is doing it, but there's a lot more effort that is needed in this direction. Now, I have a question from Prashant, who says, why should a shopping site must be PayPal or TrustPay compliant? You do not have to be PayPal compliant. Really, PayPal is a way you can pay. You can pay for goods. You really don't have to be PayPal compliant. It is an option for you to pay. You know, just like you would use Visa or MasterCard to pay for your goods and services, PayPal could be another mode of payment or another way to pay. Now we have a question from Wade. I would like to learn about how I integrate PayPal payment gateway for my mobile application and for web application. Well, Samved, thank you for asking this question. You can actually go to developer.paypal.com, and there are lots of ways in which you can integrate payments in your application. If you have a one-off use case, you can also reach out to me and I can connect you with the right folks who can help you integrate PayPal. Okay. Now, next question is from Arshi, who asked me to work, in a mobile payment job domain. What are the skills required by an individual, say a BTech graduate? You know, what is required really is your passion for mobile payments. And the technology comes second. That's how I see it. If you're really passionate and if you believe in it, you'll get the technology. We have a lot of openings at PayPal and at eBay for different kinds of roles. I encourage you to check out these openings on our website and on our career website and find out what you like to do here. We have a lot of need for technically savvy people, backend, analytics, big data, all kinds of needs. So, and among many others. So please, I encourage you to go to our website and check out our job openings. And yes, you've got to believe in payments, and you've got to believe that this is going to create a change in the way we shop and the way we do business. Now, I have Vijay. Now, Vijay asks me, how can we take this technology to common user? What is that needs to be done to involve more and more users? Wow, what a great observation, Vijay. And that is what mobile payments is about. How to use this technology to solve local problems. And when we start doing that, we'll see a great adoption of this technology. Now, you know how convenient it is to pay for your, your tickets, your railway tickets, or your bus tickets, the bus that you take every day, or the metro tickets, using this kind of technology. How easy it will make our lives. These are the kind of use cases that will make everybody use this kind of technology. Manish asks me a question here. What would you suggest for tester to ensure buy free mobile applications in terms of mobile payments? Or you suggest some certification that say this is the certified tester for mobile payments. I am not aware of such kind of certifications, but let me look into it. And shoot me an email, connect with me, and let's talk offline if there is anything around, mobile payment testing. Mobile payment testing is actually not very different from the usual testing skills. What you need to be thinking about is payments. You have to have knowledge of payments. You need to have knowledge about how a person with bad intentions might take over your account or might create trouble for you. So connect with me offline and let's talk it over. Now I have another question from Abhas, and Abhas says, as you said, we all don't like it much when we have to pay those extra 5 rupees in case we don't have the change. Wow, thank God, Abbas, you feel my pain, right? With mobile payment ecosystem growing so rapidly, when do you think the day will come when I shall be able to use my mobile for making a payment for my public transport in India? Abbas, why don't you take a lead in this? Develop an app, develop something, and I'm telling you, I promise I'm going to be the first one to use it because I really need it. So I think as developers, as technologists, as people in the technology org, we need more entrepreneurs. We need more people who are ready to solve our problems and local issues here. Another question from Sidhu, who says, how many of them use the smartphone, but very less percent of people use mobile payments? Why? The mobile phones, you know what, let me tell you something. Sometimes we really do not realize that we are using mobile payments. We use them every day, and we do not realize that what actually we are doing is mobile payments. Now, so let's take, I'm putting you on the spot here, but if you access your banking information using your mobile phone, that's mobile payment. If you buy a ringtone, download a ringtone, that's mobile payment. And many of us download ringtones or songs, and so these are all mobile payments. If I want to SMS or pay my telephone or my electricity bill using SMS, that's another form of mobile payment. And there is a lot more that needs to be done. There is a lot more that can happen, especially given the reach that mobile phones have in India. I think this is definitely, India is one place that's definitely going to create a revolution in this space. Okay, another question from Manish. Manish says, what would you suggest for tester to ensure bug-free mobile application in terms of mobile payments? Or you suggest some certification that says this is to certify? Oh, okay, we already took this question. Now, I have another question from Abhilasha, who asks me, how does big data influence help mobile payment space? Very well asked, Abhilasha. As people do more and more payments, or more and more commerce online, we do collect information. They're building up this huge amount of data or this information or their habits or these patterns that we are capturing. And this helps us recognize their payment patterns, their payment preferences, the way they like to do commerce. And what I believe it will do is to positively influence and create use cases or experiences that will help better or make mobile payments more useful. So as we start using mobile payments more and mobile commerce more, this is definitely something that's going to help us out here. Vijay asks me another question, and what he asks me is how the PayPal authentication is done. I mean, when user enters the credit card number, how the number authentication is carried out. How does PayPal access the credit card data of various users? Is there any standard that we need? Oh, okay, great. So that was, I kind of mixed it with another question. So, so Vijay is actually concerned about how we do authentication on the payment side. Well, Vijay, rest assured, we have the best authentication mechanisms that we do. We have fraud prevention and behavioral algorithms running as a backend. Another interesting thing that I would like to point out here is we recently in North America launched something called a commerce identity. And what that means is that, you know how you log into your apps using, say, Facebook credentials or Twitter credentials or LinkedIn credentials? Well, we say people trust these networks for their social needs, but for commerce needs, you'd rather trust PayPal. So we used OAuth to let users use PayPal as for their commerce application as their commerce identity. Get more information about it on developer.paypal.com. It's a cool feature that we are coming up with, and we already have launched it. And it will tell you how seriously we think people's security and credit card details are. Now we have a question from Sampath, who asks me, Is there any standard we need to follow when designing our own mobile app to ensure security while integrating the PayPal with our mobile app? Sampath, if you're integrating with PayPal, let me tell you, you're in good hands. We take care of a lot of your security issues when you integrate with PayPal. If you go to developer.paypal.com, you'll find what are some security things you need to do or how you should integrate with PayPal, and at the back end, we take care of most of our stuff. Please reach out to me, Sampath, just in case you want to discuss this in more detail. Now, Samved asks me a question: what additional security provided by the PayPal apart from its competitor? Well, very well asked, Samved. A lot of payment providers have come and gone, and PayPal started in 1998, and they are still going strong. That says a lot about how we do business and how we take security. Now, we do a lot of, and sometimes we hear things like, oh, my account was frozen, I wasn't able to make payments, but the gist of it is we really care about you. You'd rather get it you'd rather, have a little delay than not get the funds at all or have somebody steal your identity or steal your funds. So we take security really, really seriously, and that's why we are still going strong. And I'm very proud to say that we are one of the biggest players, or we are the biggest players in this space. Vikas asks me a question here. I have an ASP.NET application for online exam system, and I want to use PayPal integration using Android app. Is it possible to do so? Will it be good? Of course it will be good. What do you mean? Now, you can actually go to developer.paypal.com and find out what kind of our offering will best suit your application. We do have SDKs. So if you're going native, we do have Android SDKs that you can integrate in your app. If you are taking the web route, mobile web route, we have REST APIs for that as well. We have wrappers, and just go to our website, and there's a lot of information that you can get there. And I'm sure it's going to be good. Reach out to me if you have any problems integrating with it, and I can connect you to the right people, or I can help you myself there. Okay. Now I have another question from Vijay, who asks me, I work for one of the OEMs and would like to know what kind of support is required from the OEM to highlight the mobile payment. Vijay, I'm so excited you're listening to the webinar today, and I really believe if we can collaborate, the OEMs, the OS providers, the mobile payment providers, it's fantastic because each one of us is working with our areas of expertise, and this kind of collaboration can solve real problems. So I mentioned that LG actually now comes with, LG TV actually comes with PayPal integrated, and shoot me an email, Vijay, and let's take it offline on how we can work together. Okay, looks like we ran out of all the questions here.
We are done with the questions, Pragati. Thank you very much for the insightful presentation. Yeah, it was indeed a great session, and I would also like to thank all our participants for the support in making this webinar a success. The recording of the webinar will be available on techgeek.com by tomorrow. So thank you all. Thank you, Pragati, once again. Have a great day ahead.
Thanks, everybody, for joining me. Bye.
Bye-bye.
वहाँ पे मिलेगा मनीष शर्मा से मिल जाएगा बिकॉज वो यूज करती है ना मोहिनी उसका बिजनेस मोहिनी और शर्मा उस दिन जो ड्रॉप हुआ था